Welcome, internets! There are a bunch of roster predictions for Super Smash Bros. Already, but I wanted to give my thoughts on it too. I actually made two different rosters. One is a roster that I want to see, and the other is a more reasonable roster, which I think we will most likely see. So, without further ado, here's my first list. As you can see, I've divided several groups of characters into different categories. On the left you see the green category. These are all the characters that have been confirmed so far. There are 29 of them out now, so we still have room left for some more. I think we will see at least 45 characters in SSB4. The first Super Smash Bros. Had 12 characters, Melee had 26 and Brawl had 37, so I think 45 isn't expecting too much. Even though it was stated they didn't want to make many more characters as Brawl, I'm going with 45 characters first. The second category is the yellow category. These are Super Smash Bros. Veterans that I think will most likely make it back. There are 9 of them out here. We have Captain Falcon and Jigglypuff, who have been in the game since the first Super Smash Bros., so we can't really deny them their spot. Then there are Ganondorf, Falco, Ness, Ice Climbers and Mr. Game & Watch, who have been in the game since Melee. Anyone who has been in the game 2 times I think is safe enough to come back, even though Sakurai stated that the Ice Climbers were a pain to make for the 3DS. Then finally there are Meta Knight and Wario. Meta Knight was so popular in Brawl that I can't imagine him being out. I do hope they balance him a little bit because I really hated playing against him. As for Wario is just this funny character. He's been an enemy of Mario for a while and he fits the Super Smash Bros. Series pretty well, so I think we can also predict him to be back. Next there is the red category. These are the remaining 7 characters that I think we can expect to see. First there's Lucas and Rob. Many of you think they will be out because they aren't really relevant anymore, but I don't think that matters for either of them because both of them are actually relevant for one game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The danger with putting fairly unknown characters in a game is that fans won't recognize them and therefore won't play with them. With these two, that won't matter because fans will still recognize them from their appearance in Brawl. Personally, I would be really upset if both of them were out, because honestly they were 2 of my favorite characters to play with. Lucas was actually my main. He has some really strong attacks and I also like Rob's playing style. He has the best recoveries in the whole game in my opinion, including Pit and Meta Knight. Rob has way more control in the air because he doesn't have to go all Flappy Bird to get to the next stage. Talking about you, Flappy Knight. Anyway, that's why I think these 2 will be in. The other 5 characters in this category will be completely new characters. Let's start with Palutena. Palutena will make a great addition to the roster. It's a new female character, it gives the Kid Icarus franchise some more fame, and she will be a unique character to play with. The signs are all out there. We have this leaked picture which looked really convincing in my opinion. Plus there's Pit's final smash that has been changed so that Palutena is no longer in it. And we know Sakurai worked on Kid Icarus Uprising, so I think Palutena is definitely in. Next there is Pac-Man. I'm personally not a big fan of Pac-Man being in Super Smash Bros., but I think he's inevitable at this point. We know that Bandai Namco is one of the developers of the game and they've put a lot of Namco references in it already. It only makes sense for them to have a representative in it too, and who else but Pac-Man? I don't know how he would play or how he would compare to other characters, but I think we can probably expect him. Then there is Chrom. A lot of people have been saying that there is a trend of Super Smash Bros. To replace the Fire Emblem characters with one from a more recent game. I don't think you can call it a trend when it only happened once, but I do agree that it might happen again. I personally love playing Fire Emblem Awakening and Chrom would make a nice addition to the roster. I don't know if he will play very differently from Ike or Roy for that matter, so we'll just have to see about that. I actually am only about 50% on these next 2 characters. That is Crystal and King K. Rool. The Super Smash Bros. Series is missing 2 things when it comes to characters in my opinion. Those are girls and villains. In both the DK series and the Star Fox series you can make a choice between them. From Star Fox we can have either Crystal or Wolf, and from the DK series we can get either Dixie Kong or King K. Rool. I chose for Crystal and King K. Rool. Crystal would have an original playing style as she could fight with her staff and she wouldn't feel like a clone character at all, unlike Falco and Wolf. As for King K. Rool, I like him better because we could use some more heavy hitters and Dixie Kong would just be another monkey. I wouldn't like that. Even though she could fight differently from Diddy, she'd have her ponytail to fly and whip people and everything, but she would still feel a lot like Diddy Kong to me. So I personally choose Crystal and King K. Rool for Super Smash Bros. 4. So now we have a complete roster of 45 characters. This is how it would look. This is my realistic roster. I think it's gonna look a lot like this. If the actual roster is anything like this, I would be completely satisfied. I couldn't hope for more. But I do like to point out some other characters. I don't think these characters will make it, but we can't rule them out either. There are 8 left. These last 8 are the blue category. They're the ones that I would like to see, but I doubt they will make it. So first there is Ridley. Everybody's ruling him out because they think he has been confirmed as a stage threat. He has been greatly suggested to be a stage threat, but not officially confirmed. We can only see a shadow and like a glimpse of a wing. It does resemble Ridley, however there are still 3 possibilities for Ridley to be in. The first is obvious, it's not actually Ridley. It is either Meta Ridley or something else altogether. I don't know, I'm not really familiar with the Metroid franchise, so I'm not sure who else it could be, but it's still a possibility. The second option is that Ridley could be both a character and a stage hazard. Nobody ever said that someone can be both. It might look stupid when 2 or even more Ridleys will be on the stage, but hey, wouldn't stop me. The last option is if the hazard changes, if the hazard on the stage were to actually change if someone were to be playing as Ridley. Like Ridley would normally be the stage hazard, but then someone would play as Ridley and it would suddenly be Meta Ridley or Kraid or Mother Brain or anybody really. It's not that uncommon, it happened in Spear Pillar and Brawl. You could have Palkia, Dialga, Cresselia, they were all different stage hazards that were just random. So in that same way, this stage could have different stage hazard too, and that would just depend on whether or not Ridley was in the game. So that's my thoughts on Ridley. I still don't think he's gonna make it in, but it definitely isn't impossible for him to be in either. I won't give up on him unless they really confirm that he is out. Next is Isaac from Golden Sun. I personally am a big Golden Sun fan, and I would love to see Isaac as a character. He could fight with his magic, his move commands and all that, and hey, he has a sword too, but somehow I just don't think it will happen. We have no sign of Isaac being in the game. He will most likely just return as an assist trophy. That is just my gut feeling though. Sakurai could still surprise us and suddenly introduce him, but I just doubt it. Next is Shulk from the Xenoblade Chronicles. Shulk would be an interesting character to play with, probably. Many people want Shulk to be in, and I also would like to see what they could do with him. I'm not really familiar with the Xenoblade Chronicles though, so I don't really know what his moveset will be, besides obviously fighting with his sword. I hope that if he is surprised in the end, he would fight differently from the Fire Emblem characters, otherwise he would just be another sword-based character. So if he is in, great, but if he's not, I'm not gonna cry about it. Then there is Snake. Normally I would say that old characters are always in unless they get replaced, but with Snake things are a little more complicated. As a third party character his chances were pretty small to begin with. The fact that he was in Brawl was amazing. I like the idea of him in there, but I didn't really enjoy his playing style. We also know that the creator of Snake, Hideo Kojima, has no input in the creation of SSB4. So I don't think Snake will be back. Technically he would be replaced by Mega Man as a third party character. Then there is the Mii. I actually have a different theory for Mii. We know that SSB4 will have the option for custom moveset. You can adjust certain moves for characters in the new game. Like we saw Kirby who has a freeze breath and Pit could move his arrows more freely. But these adjustments aren't available for online play. But what if there was a way to create your own character with any move from any character you wanted? You could have Samus's Blast, Yoshi's Egg Roll, Kirby's Rock Attack, or anything else really. This would probably be a completely different game mod, but if they were to do something like that, I think this role would be filled by Mii's. You can design your Mii's appearance and attacks and fight against your friends who all have their own specially designed Mii's. I would love to experiment with that, and I would definitely look forward to people creating characters that resemble other characters that have nothing to do with SSB. You could get Peter Griffin fighting Darth Vader, hell, everything is possible. These last 3 characters I took apart because I feel like they rely on each other to be in this game. If we assume Jigglypuff and Ganondorf to be in, then the Mario franchise, the Zelda franchise and the Pokemon franchise would all have 5 characters. I don't think any of them would get any more characters unless all of them do. So if they were to do this, which I highly doubt by the way, then these characters will most likely be Bowser Jr., Mewtwo and Ghirahim from Skyward Sword. These 3 characters would all work for Super Smash Bros. In my opinion. Bowser Jr. could just be like a smaller, more agile version of Bowser who could also fight with his brush. Mewtwo, who has always been a fan favorite, could finally return and now has his Mega Evolutions as final smashes. Then Ghirahim would probably also work, even though they would then have 2 villains from The Legend of Zelda, though that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. So I would love to see those 3 characters, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. Mario has Rosalina as a new character, Pokemon has Greninja, and Zelda has some extra work done on Zelda and Sheik, and maybe Ganondorf will get a new moveset. So I think we should all just be happy with that. So these were all my thoughts. Here you can see the rosters again. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me, or do you think I forgot to mention some characters? Let me know in the comments. So thank you for listening, and I wish you a very pleasant day, week, and hell, maybe even a month. So see ya!